This is the Edexcel Foundation tier. Paper 2, calculator paper. It's a practice paper for the 2022 Maths GCSE exam. It's based on advanced information, so the topics in this paper will be the same as the topics that are covered in the exam this summer. So we have a formula sheet for this exam that's being provided. It may be useful for some of the questions, so we can always refer back to this if there's a question where there's a formula that we need to remember, or that we don't need to remember because it's on this sheet. Okay, question 1. Write down a multiple of 7 that is between 20 and 30. So it's a number in the 7 times table between 20 and 30. So there are two options. We can have 21, which is 3 sevens, or we could have 28, which is 4 sevens. So either one of those would be good for the mark. Question 2. Write 3,761 to the nearest hundred. So we've got the thousands, the hundreds, the tens and the ones. So to the nearest hundred, so we look at the next column down, which is the tens, and say, is it 5 or above? If it is, we round up. So 6 is 5 or above, so let's round up. So it's going to go to 8, 3,800. Question 3, write 0.9 as a percentage. So we do have a calculator for this paper, so we can use the calculator if we want. So it's 0.9 as a percentage, so times 100. To change a decimal or a fraction to a percentage, we multiply it by 100. So 0.9 times 100, we can use the calculator if we want to. So the answer is 90. It's 90%. Question 4. Change 75 kilograms into grams. So whenever we've got kilo, this K, it means 1,000. So it's 75,000 grams. So, well, 75,000 grams. So to change grams into kilograms, we multiply it by 1,000. So if we did 75 times 1,000, we would get 75,000. And question 5, here is a shape. Write down the mathematical name for the shape. So this shape has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. A 6-sided shape is called a hexagon. Question 6. Write down the mathematical name for the straight line touching the circle. So a straight line that just touches a circle is called a tangent. We could be asked for any part of a circle, so it's a good idea to make sure you know all the different parts of a circle. Question 7. Here are 3 symbols. Write one of these symbols in each box to make 4 true statements. So 3/4 is bigger than a half. So we want the greater than symbol. So 3/4 goes on the big side of the symbol. So the bigger side gets, the bigger side of the sign gets the bigger number. So 3/4 is bigger than a half. We've got 25 and 30. This time 30 is bigger. 30 is bigger than 25. So the bigger side of the sign is with the 30. So 25 is less than 30. 2/5 and 0.4. So if we change 2/5, so type 2/5 in the calculator and then press the S to D button, you'll see it's the same as 0.4. Or if you type 0.4 in, it will change it to 2/5. They're exactly the same. So 2/5 is 0.4. So 0.4 is equal to 0.4. And then we've got our negative numbers next, -9 and -4. The bigger one is the one closer to 0 this time. So -4 is bigger than -9. It's further up the number line. So -4 is on the bigger side. So -9 is less than -4. Question 8. Find the number that is exactly halfway between 1/6 and 7/12. So a way of finding a number halfway between two other numbers is to add them up and then half it. So halfway between 1 and 3 is 2. And if I did 1 plus 3, add them up, which makes 4, and half it, I get 2. Halfway between 1 and 5 is 3. If I add up 1 and 5, that's 6, and half it, that's 3. So if I add two numbers together and then half it, I get halfway between them. So I can use the calculator to do 1/6 plus 7/12. So 1 and then the fraction button, 1/6, click across, plus 7, fraction button, 12. So 1/6 plus 7/12 equals 3/4. So them added up is 3/4. And then if I half 3/4, so divide it by 2, divided by 2, that gets 3/8. So halfway between 1/6 and 7/12 must be 3/8. Question 9. So we've got A and write down the coordinates of point A. So the coordinates are x then y. So the x-axis, we're 2 along the x, and we're 6 up the y. So it's 2, 6, x then y. X coordinate first, then y coordinate. On the grid, mark with a cross the point 5, -1, and label it B. So x is 5, go 5 along the x, and then down 1 on the y. 5 along the x and down 1 on the y, and that's B. So x is 5, down 1 on the y, -1, and that is B. Question 10. A film starts at 7:45 p.m. The film lasts for 98 minutes. What time does the film finish? So we can use our calculator for this. I'll do it without first, and then I'll show you with. So 7:45. To get to 8 o'clock, I need to add on 15 minutes. So to get to 8 p.m., that's 15 minutes. And then I can get to 9 p.m. There are 60 minutes in every hour. So that's 60 minutes. So far to get to 9 o'clock, we've used 15 plus 60, which is 75 minutes. 98 take away 75 will tell us how many minutes left. So we've had 75 minutes. So we've got 23 minutes more. So 23 minutes left. So in 23 more minutes, it will be 9:23 p.m. So now with a calculator, so this is a time button. So this one below the fact and the B, this one's the time button. So I can write 7 hours and 45 minutes plus 98 minutes. So 0 hours and 98 minutes. So 7 hours 45 minutes plus no hours and 98 minutes. Press equals 9 hours 23 minutes. 9:23 p.m. Question 11. Mr. Blair buys 30 pens, 30 rulers, 30 pencils, and 30 calculators. So we need to work out the total amount Mr. Blair spends. So pens are 5 for 85p. He wants 30. So how many 5s go into 30? That's 6. So we could have done 30 divide 5 on our calculator. So we need to buy 6 lots of this. Rulers, 10 for £2.64. He needs 30, so he needs 3 lots of 10. So this one times 3. Pencils are 6 for 52p. There are 30 pencils again, so he needs to do 6 times 5. So 5 lots of 6 to make 30. And calculators, £6.25 each. Well, he needs 30 of them. So we've got 85p times 6. So I'm going to write 0.85 times 6, which is 5.1 or £5.10. All right, 5.1. We've got £2.64 times 3. So £7.92. All right, 7.92. We've got 52p times 5. So again, 0.52 times 5. 2.6 or £2.60. And £6.25 times 30. 6.25 times 30 is 187.5 or £187.50. So we need to add these numbers up so we can use our calculator. So we've already got 187.5 in it. So I'll click plus, and then we add on now £2.60, £7.92, and £5.10. And we get to £203.12p. So that's £5.10, £7.92, £2.60, and £187.50, all added together, give us £203.12p. Question 12. Work out the size of the angle marked X. So here we've got what are called vertically opposite angles. So the two opposite angles are equal. So the 98 is equal to the X. And then if we had angles here, so this one, this red one, will be equal to this other red one. The opposite ones are equal. So it's 98 degrees. And the reason is vertically opposite angles are equal. Question 13. Work out the size of angle ABC. So A to B to C, it means this one here. And this time we're going to use angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So these three angles add up to 180 degrees. So if we do 180, take away the two angles we've got, we should get what's missing. So 180, take away 64, and take away 32 gives us 84. So it's 84 degrees because angles in a triangle add to 180 degrees. Question 14. AB and BC are perpendicular lines. Work out the size of the angle marked X. So perpendicular lines meet at a 90-degree angle. So this angle here, this total angle, must be 90 degrees. So we have 90 take away 52. 90 take away 52 is 38. So to make this whole angle 90 degrees, X has to be 38 degrees. Question 15. the length of a rectangle is 3 times the width of the rectangle. The area of the rectangle is 48 centimeters squared. Draw the rectangle on the centimeter grid. So we've got the length of the rectangle is 3 times the width, and the area is 48 centimeters squared. So we've got a length here, the width, the length is 3 times the width. So these two numbers must multiply together to get the area of a rectangle, its length times width. So these two numbers must multiply together to get 48. So we've got options here. We could just try different numbers. So if we did 3 as the length, as the width, and then 3 times as big, 3 3s are 9, that would give us 27. That's too small, so we try a bigger one. 4 times 3 lots of 4, 12 is 48. So that's our answer. It's 4 and 12. So the width is 4 and the length is 12. We could have used algebra here. So we could have said 3L times L would be 3L squared, and that's equal to 48. If we divide both sides by 3, 48 over 3 is 16, and then square root 16, which is 4. So we've got 4 and 3 4s, 12. So whatever method we use, we should end up with 4 by 12. So we need to draw it. So it's 4 by 12. So 4 up, 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 along, and it's a rectangle, so 4 down and 12 along the bottom as well. And if we counted the squares, if we did count all the squares, we'd get 48, because we've got 48 centimeters squares. So 4 by 12. Question 16. The table shows information about the number of goals a team scored in 38 games. So this should say goals. So we've got no goals scored in 7 games. In 14 games, they scored 1 goal. In 11 games, they scored 2 goals. And in the other 6 games, they scored 3 goals. In none of the games, we got 4 or more goals. Find the median number of goals scored. So it's the middle number. The median's the middle number. And we've got 38 numbers here. It doesn't look like we've got 38 numbers, but we've got 7 zeros. So 7 zeros, 14 ones. Eleven twos, and 6 threes. So where's the middle number? So if we cross off from both sides and get to the middle, we're going to end up with a 1 in the middle. So there's 38 games, so we're looking for the 19th or between the 19th and 20th number. So the first 7 are all zeros, and then 7 and 14 make 21. So up to here, there's 21 numbers. So the 19th and the 20th are both going to be 1s. So the median, the middle number, is 1. Write down the mode, the most common number. Well, there are 14 1s. So the most common is 1. And work out the mean, part C, the mean number of goals the team scored in all 38 games. So we need to add up all these numbers and divide by how many? Divide by 38. So we're going to be dividing by 38. There's a quick way of adding them up though. So we've got 7 zeros. which add up to 0. We've got 14 ones, so 1 times 14 is 14. We've got 11 twos, they're going to add up to 22. All of these 11 twos will add up to 22. And we've got 6 threes, and they're going to add up to 18. 6 times 3 is 18. We can use the calculator. And, well, 0 times 4, we've got no 4s. So no 4s, which is 0. So if we add all these numbers up, use the calculator, add them up, that's going to be, well, what they all add up to. So we didn't really need to have the 0 there. So 14, 22, and 18 make 54. So they all add up to 54. So the mean is all the numbers added up and divided by how many. So 54 divided by 38. So we've got 27 over 19 or 1.42. Either one of those. That's our answer. Question 17. Factorize. Factorize means put into brackets. So we need to know what number we can take outside. So what's the biggest thing that we can take outside? 18 and 24 are both in the 6 times table. That's the biggest times table with 18 and 24 both in. So we can take 6 outside. 6 times what makes 18x? 6 times 3x is going to make 18x. And 6 times 4 is going to make 24. So 18x plus 24. Part B, expand and simplify. So we need to expand the brackets. So we're timesing the number outside the bracket by both of the terms inside the bracket. So the thing outside the bracket by both the things inside the bracket. So 7 times t is 7t. A positive 7 times a negative 4. A positive times a negative is negative. 7 times 4 is 28. 5 times t, so it's positive. 5 times t is just 5t. And a positive times a negative is negative. And 5 2s are 10. So we've expanded, we've done this part. We now need to simplify. So we can collect the like terms, add together the things that are the same. So we've got t terms, and we've got numbers. So for our t terms, we've got 7 plus 5t. We're always taking the sign from in front. So 7 and 5, 7 plus 5 makes 12. So 7t and 5t is 12t. For our numbers, we've got negative 28, take away 10. So negative 28 down 10 goes to negative 38. Question 18. Here is a number machine. So we get an input, we multiply it by 4, then add 7, and that gives us our output. So part A, find the output when the input is 5. So we're putting 5 into this machine. We're going to times it by 4. So that's 20. And then we're going to add 7. So 20 plus 7 is 27. Find the output when the input is negative 3. So this time we're going to put negative 3 in. So it's negative 3 times by 4, which is negative 12, and then add 7, negative 5. Part C says find the input when the output is 71. So the output is 71. What did we put in? So we could try different numbers going in until we get 71, or we could go backwards. So we're going to start with 71 and we're going to go backwards. So the opposite of adding 7 is taking away 7. So let's take away 7, and that's 64. So we've gone back, and then we go back again. So the opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. So then we can divide 64 by 4, and that's 16. So the input must have been 16. So if we put 16 in, times it by 4, will be 64, and then add 7 will be 71. Question 19. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals 2x minus 3 for x values from -3 to 3. So we've got x and y. We can draw a table to work out these values. So we want our x values from -3 all the way up to +3. So we need to work out the y values that go with them. And we can use the equation to work them out. So it's 2x minus 3. 2 times the x, and then take away 3. To get the y is equal to 2 times the x, and then take away 3. So we're going to times the x by 2, and then take away 3. You can write it in the calculator exactly how it looks. So 2x take away 3, and in place of the x, just put some brackets. And then inside the brackets, for the x, just write in the x values. So for 3, we write in 3, and we get out a 3. And then for the 2, we get out a 1. And then back in, change the 2 to a 1, we get -1. And we can keep going, changing inside the bracket to all of these different x numbers. And what we'll see is we'll see a pattern. So from left to right, well, it's going up in 2. And if we go backwards, we're going to go down by 2 every time. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So now these are our coordinates: -3, -9, -2, -7, and so on. So we're going to draw these on our grid. So -3, -9, -3x, -9 is the y. -2, -7, -1, -5, -1, -5, 0, -3, 1, -1, 2, 1, and 3, 3. So it's made a straight line. So we can see we've got a straight line. We just need to join them up now. So we've got a straight line graph. If we had 1 point sticking out, we'd know we need to check that. So this one is a straight line graph. All the points have lined up in a straight line. It was going up by 2 every time. So we know it looks right. Question 20. The accurate scale drawing shows a small box and a large box. So it's an accurate scale drawing, which means it's drawn to scale. The small box has a real height of 20 centimeters. So the height is 20 centimeters. Find an estimate for the real height of the large box. So what we can do is measure the height of these boxes, and then we'll be able to use the scale to find the height of the real height of the large box. So we have to grab a ruler, and we need to measure the height of this small box, which is 1.5 centimeters. So small has got a height of 1.5 centimeters. So that's the drawn in the drawing, and the real height is 20 centimeters. Now let's look at the large. So let's measure the height in the drawing. So we've got 7.5 centimeters. So we need to work out this real height. So we can either work out what to do to get from 1.5 to 20. Go this way and multiply the 7.5 by the same thing. Or we can say, what do we have to do to get from 1.5 to 7.5 and multiply the 20 by the same thing. We've got easier numbers if we do it this way around. So from 1.5 to 7.5, that's timesing by 5. So it's 5 times taller. The large box is 5 times bigger than the small box. So the real height will also be 5 times more. So 20 times 5, well, that's 100. So the answer is 100 centimeters. Or 1 meter. You could also write 1 meter. If we'd done it the other way and said, what's the scale here? 20 divided by 1.5 is 40 over 3. So to go from the drawing to real life, we times by 40 over 3. So 7.5 times 40 over 3 is 100. We would have got the same answer from the two methods. Either way, the answer is 100 centimeters. Question 21. Karen buys a pack of 8 bottles of water. The pack costs £1.25. Karen sells all 8 bottles of water for 50p each. So 8 bottles for 50p each. I'll put 0.5. So 8 50p's, or 8 50p's are £4. So Karen sells them all for £4. Work out Karen's percentage profit. So whenever we have a percentage profit, we have to work out how much it's changed by. What's the profit? How much more has she sold them for than what she bought them for? Divide by the original and times by 100 to make it a percentage. So she started with £1.25. Now she's got £4. So the change is 4 take away £1.25 divided by the original, the £1.25, and times 100. So we can do this in one go in the calculator. 4 minus 1.25 divided by 1.25 times 100, that's 220. So 220%. Question 22. Write the ratio 32 to 112 in its simplest form. Now, our calculator doesn't have a simplified ratio, but it will simplify a fraction. So all we've got to do is write these two numbers in a fraction, and they will be simplified for us. So 32 over 112 is 2 to 7. So it's simplified the fraction with these two numbers in it. So the ratio is going to be 2 to 7. So that's dividing both of them by 16. So 2 16s and 7 16s. Part B. It rained on 3/7 of the days in February. Write the ratio of the days it rained to the number of days it did not rain. So the ratio of the number of days it rained to the number of days it did not rain. So it rained on 3/7, and it did not rain on the rest, which must be 4/7, because they have to add up to a whole. So 3/7 to 4/7, and we can simplify this by getting rid of the sevenths, timesing both sides by 7, and it's just 3 to 4. So for every 3 days it rained, it didn't rain on 4 days. Question 23. Bill is a taxi driver. You can use this graph to find the cost of a taxi for different distances. So for each journey, there is a fixed charge plus a charge for the distance. How much is the fixed charge? So if you go no miles at all, it costs £5. So that's the fixed charge. It's this here, which is £5. Bill makes 2 journeys. The distance of one journey is 10 miles further than the other journey. Work out the difference between the 2 journey costs. So the difference is 10 miles. So a 10-mile journey costs £20. So 10 miles, £20. 10-mile journey is £20. And if we do a 20-mile journey, so a 10-mile journey is £20. A 20-mile journey is £35. So a 20-mile journey is £35. So they've got a difference of 10 miles. What's the difference in the 2 costs? Well, 35 take away 20 is £15. So for every 10 miles you go across, every 10 more miles you go, it costs an extra £15. Question 24. Rachel has 2 bags. In the first bag, there are 4 red balls and 6 green balls. In the second bag, there are 3 red balls and 5 green balls. Rachel takes at random a ball from the first bag. She then takes at random a ball from the second bag. Complete the probability tree diagram. So in the first bag, there are 4 red and 6 green. So the probability of getting a red in the first bag, there are 4 red out of 4 plus 6, 10 in total. So 4 out of 10 red. The chance of getting green, there are 6 green out of 10 in total. So that's 6/10. Then it doesn't matter what ball we took from the first bag. In the second bag, the chance of getting red is going to be 3 out of 8. 3 red out of 8 in total. And the probability of green is going to be 5/8. 5 green out of 8 in total. So there's our tree diagram. Work out the probability. Rachel takes 2 green balls. So it's green and then green again. When we go across these branches, we multiply. So we're going to do 6/10 times 5/8. 6/10 times 5/8. And we can do that on the calculator. 6/10 times 5/8 is 3/8. Question 25. So we've got 100 students in year 7, either study French or German or Spanish. 45 students are boys and the rest are girls, and we've got this information. This is a two-way table question. So we're going to draw a two-way table and we're going to fill in the gaps. So let's draw our table. So we have 100 students in year 7. They either do French or German or Spanish. And we add a total column at the bottom. And then they're either boys or girls. And we'll add a total column on the side as well. So let's draw these lines in, and then we'll start filling in the information. So there's 100 in total. So the total of the total columns and rows has to add up to 100. 45 of the students are boys and the rest are girls. So the total boys is 45. 100 take away 45 is 55. 12 boys study German. So boys German is 12. 15 boys and 17 girls study French. So French, 15 boys and 17 girls. So we can already fill in these ones here, but we'll add the last bit of information in. A total of 30 students study Spanish. So the total for Spanish is 30. Now we just need to start filling in the gaps. So 15 and 17 add up. We can use the calculator if we want to. That's 32. Then we've got a gap here, so they add up to 45. We've got 15 and 12. Let's use the calculator. So 45 take away 15 and take away 12 is 18. And 30, well, 18 and something make 30. That must be 12. And we'll find this missing number as well. So 55 take away 12 and take away 17 is 26. And 12 and 26 will be 38. And that's our two-way table completed. What was the question? How many girls study Spanish? That's 12. Question 26. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. So triangle A to triangle B, what's the transformation? So it's an enlargement. The size has changed, it's an enlargement. And A was 3 along the bottom, B is now 6 along the bottom. So that's a scale factor 2. It's twice as big. Scale factor 2. And if we join up these points, so join up the corresponding corners of the triangle, they all meet at 6, -7. So that's the center of enlargement. So it's an enlargement the scale factor is 2 and the center was at 6, -7. Question 27. A number x is rounded to 2 decimal places. The result is 0.18. Write down the error interval for x. So we're at 0.18 to 2 decimal places. The next one up is 0.19. The next one down is 0.17. And what x could have been before it was rounded, it must be, well, in between, halfway between 0.17 and 0.18, which is 0.175, and halfway between 0.18 and 0.19 is 0.185. So it must have been between these two midpoints. So it's bigger than or equal to, it could equal 0.175, and it's less than, it cannot equal, it can go all the way up to, but not equal 0.185. Question 28. So simplify. A to the power of 9 times a to the power of 4. When we multiply indices, we add the powers. We add these. A to the power of 9 times a to the power of 4 is a to the power of 13. A to the power of 9 is 8, is 9 a's multiplied together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're multiplying it by 4 a's times together. So now we've got 13 a's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 a's all multiplied together. Part B, simplify 4b squared times c cubed. So it's 4b squared c times 4b squared c times 4b squared c. So cubed means multiplied by itself and then multiplied by itself again. So for these 4's, we've got 4 times 4 times 4, or 4 cubed. We can do that on the calculator. That's 64. For the b's, we've got b squared times b squared times b squared. We're adding the powers, b to the power of 6. And we've got c times c times c, which is c cubed. Part C, simplify d to the power of 9 divided by d to the power of 4. So when we divide indices, we take away the powers. So 9 take away 4 is 5. It's like having d times together 9 times, 6, 7, 8, 9, divided by d times together 4 times, so we're just cancelling off. Cancel 1, 2, 3, 4 d's, and we're left with d to the power of 5. Question 29. A to c is 1 to 6. B to c is 2 to 5. Find the ratio A to B to C. So both of these have got a c in them. So we need to make the c's the same. So to make the c's the same, we can multiply this ratio by 5 and this ratio by 6, and then both our c's will be 30. So we're going to say A to C is, well, 1 5 is 5, and 5 times 6 is 30, and B to C, 2 6s are 12, and 5 6s are 30. So the c's are the same. So now we can just write A to B to C. So A is 5 parts, B is 12 parts, and C is 30 parts. So A to C is 5 to 30, and B to C is 12 to 30. Question 30. Nick bought a new car. Each year the car depreciates in value by 12%. Work out the number of years it takes for the car to halve in value. So if a car depreciates by 12%, that means its value goes down by 12% every year. So if we start with 100% and we take off 12%, 100 take away 12 is 88. So every year we have 88% of what it cost or what it was worth in the previous year. So 100 times, if we write 88% as a decimal, which is 0.88, will give us So 100% in the, that's what it starts with. We're going to take off 12% by multiplying by 0.88. So 100 times 0.88 is 88. So it's going to be worth 88% of its original value after 1 year. Then if we multiply that by 0.88, we're taking off 12% again. So answer times 0.88. So after 2 years, it's 77.44% of its original value. And then we'll multiply that by 0.88. And we get 68.14. So 68.14 something. And then we'll multiply that by 0.88. Which is 59.96. And then if we multiply that by 0.88 again, we've got 52.77. And then one more time, so 52.77 times 0.88 gets us below 50%, so 46.44. So it takes us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years to go to half in value, to go below 50%. We could have also used the power button. So we could have tried 5 years and then 6 years to see how many. We would have found out it goes below 50% after 6 years. Whichever method, we're getting 6 years. So it takes 6 years to half in value. Question 31. In London, potatoes cost 45p per pound. In Dublin, they cost €1.45 per kilogram. And we've got conversion. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. 1 pound, money pound, is 1.15 euros. Which are better value for money? So let's take Dublin. So it's €1.48 per kilogram. And a kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So it's €1.48 for 2.2 pounds. So we get 2.2 pounds of potatoes for €1.48. If we divide by 2.2, we'll find out how much it costs for 1 pound of potatoes. So 1.48 over 2.2 is for 37 over 55, or 0.67. So 0.67, 67 cents per pound. We need to change this into pounds. So to go from pounds to euros, we times by 1.15. 1 times 1.15 is 1.15. So to go from pounds to euros, we times. To go from euros back to pounds, we divide by the exchange rate. So we divide by 1.15. So divide by 1.15. That's to 2 decimal places, that's 58p, 0.58, 58p per pound. So 58p per pound in Dublin. In London, it's 45p per pound. So which is better, which is cheaper? London, 45p is less than 58p. So London is cheaper. And then we could even write 45p is less than 58p. Question 32. The diagram shows a patio in the shape of a rectangle. So we've got 3.6 meters along, 1.6 meters down. Jack wants to cover the patio with paving slabs. Each paving slab is a square of side 40 centimeters. So the paving slabs cost £7.59 each. He has £300. Does he have enough? So we need to work out how many paving slabs we need. So we've got 40 centimeters, and these are in meters. So 3.6 meters. To change from meters to centimeters, we multiply by 100. So we've got 360 centimeters by 160 centimeters. And the paving slabs are 40 by 40. So how many are going to fit in this space? So how many go up? 160 divided by 40. That's 16 over 4. I mean, we've got a calculator. We could use it. But 16 over 4 is 4. So we've got 4 slabs going up. 360 divided by 40. That's 9. Again, you can use the calculator, but 36 over 4 is 9. So 9 paving slabs along. So these 40 by 40 paving slabs, 4 will fit up, 9 will fit along. So we've got 4 times 9 paving slabs. We'll have 9, 9, 9, 9. 4 lots of 9. So 4 times 9 is 36. So 36 paving slabs. They cost £7.59 each. So 36 slabs, each costing £7.59. So type it in the calculator. That's £273.24. So does he have enough? He's got £300. So yes, he does. So he's got, it costs less than £300. And question 33, solve the simultaneous equations. So we've got 2 simultaneous equations. We need to either make the x's the same or the y's the same, so we can eliminate, get rid of the x's or the y's. I can make the x's the same by timesing the top one by 2 and the bottom one by 3, or I could have made the y's the same by timesing the top one by 3. I will make the x's the same, so times the whole top equation by 2, so that will be double 3x is 6x, double minus 1y is minus 2y, and doubling negative 4 goes to negative 8, times the whole bottom equation by 3. 3 times 2x is 6x, so the x's are the same. 3 negative 3's and negative 9, negative 9y, and 3 9's are 27. So my x's are the same. I can get rid of them by taking away. So if I do 6x take away 6x, that's nothing. The x's will be gone. I would have got rid of the x's. So 6x take away 6x is nothing. That's why I'm doing this. I'm getting rid of the x's. Negative 2y take away negative 9y. So negative 2 take away negative 9. If I take away a negative, I add. So negative 2 plus 9 is 7. So that's 7y. And I've got negative 8 take away 27. So I can use a calculator if ever I want to. But negative 8 take away 27 is negative 35. Now I'm dividing both sides by 7 to get y by itself. So 35 over 7 is 5. So negative 35 over 7 is negative 5. And again, we could have used a calculator. Negative 35 over 7 is negative 5. So we know what y is. Y is negative 5. Now we can find x. So we can substitute this in to our top equation. So 3x minus y, which is now negative 5. I'll write y. So that's the top equation. I'm now going to change y into negative 5. So 3x take away negative 5 equals negative 4. If I take away a negative, that means I add. So it's 3x plus 5 equals negative 4. I need to solve for x. I need to get rid of plus 5. To get rid of plus 5, I do the opposite, which is taking away 5. So take away 5 from both sides. Negative 4 take away 5 is negative 9. So 3x is a negative 9. Divide both sides by 3. X must be negative 3. So x is negative 3 and y is negative 5. And I can check my answer. So I'll use the second equation. So 2x, which was negative 3, minus 3y, which was negative 5, should equal 9, and it does. So there's my answer.